The story of InKredible Kids goes back actually a very long time. I was a classroom teacher. I always knew that there was something magical that could happen in education if you really make it your mission as a teacher to celebrate them and find their strengths. There's so much potential in what the kids could accomplish. There's just so many kids who are uninspired. I was one of those kids. I was never celebrated. I was a good kid, you know? Those years could be so transformative if the right methods are used to get them to believe in themselves. I knew that I believed in kids, and I knew that what I was doing was coming from a place in my heart that was so deep down that I just davened that it would be successful, and I didn't really know where it would go, but I figured I'll start with a podcast. I love schmoozing with kids, and I actually find it refreshing. I feel more like a kid myself, and that's the best feeling in the world. I contacted some of my old students, and I said, hey, you wanna be famous? But really, do you have something to share with the world? I saw your growth because you were my student in kindergarten and now you're in 4th grade and you have so many co-hosts. But it's also hard for you to sit in class. Let's do an episode about that. People were just, wow, this is such a good idea. How did you think of it? A couple months later, I was putting out an episode every other week and our numbers were skyrocketing. Kids could be viewed as real people. We can take them seriously. We can learn from them. They can teach each other about things that everybody needs to hear about. These kids are totally unscripted and they're dynamite. It's basically been a year. We're at like almost 150,000 downloads. The kids needed this so badly. People are saying things like, we're having conversations that I would never be able to bring up with my kids. Growth and ideas of, confidence and individuality. I myself learn tons every single time I do this. So for me, it's the most rewarding thing in the world. Fast forwarding to October 7th, in the Purim story. What ultimately switched around the terrible decree on the Jews, it was when there was thousands of kids that were gathered together by Mordechai and they cried and davened, and that actually changed history. And Hashem wanted me to have kids that I could reach so that when we need it for Klal Yisrael, we could really, really harness the power and numbers of our kids and their pure intention. Let's all connect and look past all our differences and say Tehillim. These kids and these families have proven that they are totally dedicated to their mission. Night after night, the army grew and grew. An 8-year-old boy has confidence to get up and lead a parak of Tehillim for up to 10,000 kids at a time. We had a boy lead Tehillim last week. His parents told me he wasn't reading a few months ago. He's practicing his Kriya, he's building his confidence, inspiring adults and children. Our kids are so connected in a way that I don't remember being as a kid. And these kids could have an attachment to Tehillim for life. Our kids will look back at this time and they'll say, I was part of 10,000 kids who didn't forget their brothers and sisters in Israel for even 1 minute. What a chus to be part of such an army of kids who are so pure. I see them bringing guitars, violins, putting their arms around each other, brothers and sisters. 2 minutes ago they were fighting, and now for these few minutes their arms around each other and they're singing Achinu and they're shaking the heavens. We'll remember the achdos that we got and the connection that we made to people that we don't even know. We can see each other in 10 years and I promise you we'll remember this. We're bonded for life. I don't know how I'm lucky enough to be part of this incredible army of kids who are changing the world. The world is not the same place.